Stress in the Workplace by Elida. Stress and job satisfaction. Stress is defined as a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. Stress is relevant to the workplace because the workplace is the dominant source of demands or stressor. That is why stress is one of the main causes of serious illnesses such as high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, heart disease, and so forth, which can then cause higher amounts of absenteeism and employee turnover. Job satisfaction is also affected by the amount of stress experienced, meaning that the higher the level of job satisfaction, the higher the job commitment from employees, and the higher the job satisfaction, the higher level of absenteeism, tardiness, and turnover. In the workplace, two types of stressors exist: situational stressors and dispositional stressors. Situational stressors involve the environment in which an individual is exposed to, while dispositional is based on the individual's characteristics. In my project, my main focus will be on situational stressors. Some examples of these work-related stressors are work overload, underutilization, job ambiguity, lack of control, work conditions, interpersonal stress, work-family conflict. Some of the dispositional stressors, like I mentioned, are based on personal characteristics such as type A personality, hardiness, and self-efficiency. Stress-related problem. In my project, I discussed a situation in which a new employee was expected to perform above her means. The employee was expected to complete a task she had never performed before simply because she had previous experience in banking. What the supervisor failed to realize is that their system was completely different from the system the employee was most familiar with. Therefore, this employee suffered from job ambiguity since she was not given specific instructions nor specific training on how to deal with the task. In addition, the employee was given an even higher amount of workload due to the short staffing and lacked moral support from the employees that were present. Over and over, we see this occurring in the workplace, which in the long term affects both productivity as well as an increase of stress to the employees. In the study, work stress and problem alcohol behavior, a test of the spillover model demonstrated that it is possible for an employee to take their work-related problems home. In this study, the researchers aim to conclude that stressful and negative characteristics of a job can impact an employee so significantly that it can result in negative job-related outcomes as well as non-work-related outcomes. Therefore, the study's main concern is if the worker is motivated by job-related stressors and job dissatisfaction to consume alcohol to cope with the stress developed from work. In order to do this, the study did develop two hypotheses for the study. One demonstrating the relationship between job satisfaction and heavy drinking by using two mechanisms. One referred to as escapist, which means an individual that uses alcohol as an effective means of coping, and a non-escapist, an individual that uses alcohol but not as a coping mechanism. The second hypothesis is to show that the higher level of job-related stress, the lower the levels of job satisfaction. The research found that the individual with high job dissatisfaction were prone to use alcohol as a stress coping mechanism. Trio's input. In the text, it is stated that by reducing stress in the workplace, an employer can also reduce absenteeism, tardiness, job dissatisfaction, and employee turnover. The text also informs us again that stress is linked to job satisfaction. This can also be explained by Herzberg's two-factor theory, the theory which states that job satisfaction leads to motivation. Motivation then can later be turned to job commitment and higher levels of performance, meaning a reduction of the above: absenteeism, tardiness, job dissatisfaction, and employee turnover. Additionally, the text also mentions how an employee can lose interest in the job if they cannot process the situations or tasks in a positive way. This phenomenon is also known as job burnout. Job burnout has been previously studied in a longitudinal study that demonstrates that the emotional component was related to the decline in job interest and voluntary turnover. Solving the problem. A beneficial and important strategy would be to improve employee training and orientation. The employee training did not cover the same material she was supposed to perform. Therefore, the employee was uncertain on how to process and handle the situation that was presented to her. If the company does improve its training, it is possible to eliminate the potential stress for any other new employees that come across a situation like the employee discussed above. In addition, by ensuring that a supportive, team-oriented environment exists, an employee will become more confident when asking questions, as well as knowing that a colleague can help reduce work-related stress by helping the employee with completing a task or by simply reducing the perceptions of threat in the work environment.